Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Jaydev joins me in this session. Welcome, Jaydev.
Good evening to all the viewers once again.
Yeah. So I think you can start with the latest news.
Yeah, so as you know that Bollywood this year has lost around 400 crores. So in addition to that, thanks to all your well orchestrated boycott bully weed campaign, none of the Bollywood movies are doing well at the box office, right from Bell Bottom to Taliban. So let us start with Kangana Ranaut's Talevi. The movie performed poorly at the box office on its first weekend, earning lower than Bell Bottom and Rohi. So it seems that filmmakers will have to wait to see the audience's return to cinema like the pre-COVID era. As the film industry hopes for improvement in collections, while theaters reopen in parts of the country, the new Bollywood movies have not been able to live up to the expectations. So after Bell Bottom, it was Kangana Ranaut, starrer Talevi, that went for a theatrical release before an OTT venture, and the result over the weekend has been unimpressive. Talevi managed to earn close to rupees 5 crores over the course of its 3-day run at the box office. So the Hindi version of the biopic of the late actor turned Tamil Nadu Chief Minister late Jayalalitha performed even lower though the Tamil version came to the rescue up to some extent. Kangana's Talevi earned 4.75 crores across India over the weekend, as per a report on Box Office India. So the collections comprised of about rupees 1 crore coming from the Hindi version, growing from 25 lakh rupees on Friday and rupees 30 lakhs on Saturday, and 45 lakhs on Sunday. Meanwhile, in the case of Akshay Kumar's Bell Bottom, after bringing in around 2.75 crore each on Thursday and Friday, Bell Bottom saw some sort of slight growth on Saturday, with 3.25 crores coming in. In the pre-pandemic days, films used to grow by 50 to 75% if they started at such levels. So however, things are different now, and hence also totally unpredictable. Until there are 4 or 5 new films that release and a trend is observed, one can't say with utmost assurance if the growth pattern would be on the same lines as before. It would take a different dimension now. Yeah, so I believe you have something on PV Sindhu.
Yeah. In fact, also, here I'd like to make a point that, I was just listening to some music and there was an ad in between in which Akshay Kumar says, please come and watch the Sig Bell Bottom, and all the songs in it are freely downloadable. So he sounds very desperate there. So it's the first time that these people who travel on yachts and private jets, comes down, and falls at your feet to watch their movies. So it's a good sign, because the way they have treated SSR and the kind of non-support they have given, it all proves that, they have to be put in their place.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, now this couple seems desperate to return to the limelight. Remember, anyone who quoted Deepika earlier had lost big time. Now both the husband and wife, Deepika and Ranveer, are cashing in on sportsperson PV Sindhu's fame. They have dinner with her and share selfies calling her Lakhon Mein Ek and publicizing it in Instagram. Lakhon Mein Ek means 1 in a million. So after being embroiled in the investigation by NCB for involvement in drugs, the public have boycotted Deepika and her husband. Ranveer, who we all know after marriage, has started cross-dressing and confusing everyone about his status. Another point, friends, we would like to note is that with netizens trending boycott Pavitra Rishta, too, Ankita tries to react positively. She saw positive sides, she says, in netizens trending boycott Pavitra Rishta, too, where she stars as Archana, a character once linked with SSR. 7 years after the conclusion of Pavitra Rishta, the story of Archana and Manav is all set to return, while Ankita Lokade returns as the TV character. It is Shahir Sheikh who steps into the shoes of her former co-star, late Sushant Singh. The name of the sequel of the TV show has not gone down too well with a section of SSR's fans who believe that he was irreplaceable, and also the anger against Ankita. Though the netizens trended hashtags like boycott Pavitra Rishta and more, she stated that she did not feel hurt by the fans' opinions. She shared that such comments come out of their love for the Chichore star. She also said that she only wished to keep him alive in any way. She shared that she was not trying to gain any publicity by taking his name, and if she was sharing his videos, it was an attempt to give fans what Sushant was stating, that fans did not have any memories of Sushant like she did. She shared that she was only trying to make them happy, since she had those memories with SSR. She added that she was not aware of the reason why people are trolling her. She said that though people were free to write whatever they wanted on social media, they should still keep in mind what the other person should be going through. She urged people to not bash other people and that they should refrain from commenting on a post if they do not like them. Lokande also recalled making SSR very angry on their first meeting. She recently remembered the time when she first met SSR during their TV show. Recalling the incident, Ankita told the news media that her first meeting with the late actor was very weird. Sushant was very silent on the sets, who used to be on his own. They once had to go for a promo shoot and he had to come to pick her up from her house. He waited downstairs while she got ready upstairs. Although she started her hair and makeup from 4 a.m., it went on till 6 a.m. and SSR was waiting for her from 5 a.m. Elaborating further, she added that when she finally came down, she got into the backseat of the car with her mother and fell asleep. The actress remembered Sushant being very angry. He even took the car from the driver and reportedly did rash driving. According to Ankita, Sushant thought she had a heroine attitude. For me personally, seeing a few scenes from the Pavitra Rishta serial, Ankita looks rather old and haggard opposite this new hero. Again, it's totally up to you to see whether you would like to watch it or not. Back to you, JB.
Yeah, I would like to add one point here. Like, why is it that Ankita Lokande and Shehnaz, they're getting back-to-back projects and work? After the demise of their
it's like a reward. A lot of them
love
get
interest,
rewards.
right? Like at one point of time, right?
Yeah.
It's very
In fact,
funny.
here also,
Yeah.
I'd also like to mention that Shilpa Shetty is getting some series, just like what Sushmita got.
Yes.
Some series in OTT, so that these people are, their mouths are shut and they feel that they are rewarded for whatever cooperation they have made.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the South Telugu film industry, Samantha Akini and Naga Chaitanya, they have been living separately for a while now, and they have already began the divorce proceedings. So, according to Great Andhra website, there's a rumor that Samantha and Naga have approached the court for mutual divorce. So, since the process for mutual divorce takes some specific period of time before the court grants it, the couple are remaining tight-lipped about the ongoing rumors. So the report also quoted a source saying that both of them might soon make an announcement for their divorce once the court officially admits the divorce plea and give them permission to do so. As of now, Samantha was earlier staying in Goa and now has moved to Chennai to maintain a distance from Naga. So only when the official statement comes will people know about this. And meanwhile, in the Sachin Waze case, so Sachin Waze has been shifted to Wokhart Hospital for surgery. So Sachin Waze was earlier admitted to the private hospital in Bhiwandi, but was later shifted to Mumbai Hospital for better treatment. Waze has been admitted to the ICU of Wokhart Hospital, Mumbai Central. The hospital is preparing for the CABG. So what is CABG? CABG is coronary artery bypass grafting surgery, which will be done very soon, Advocate Aarti said. So Sachin Waze was admitted to the hospital on Friday after the court approved his request to be shifted to another hospital on Thursday. After being shifted to SS Hospital Kalahar in Thane, Sachin Waze's lawyers quoting the hospital filed another plea before the court, stating that he was required to undergo bypass surgery, based on which Sachin Waze sought to be shifted to a hospital that could provide better treatment. The court has asked the hospital to make a decision about the treatment that was to be provided to Sachin Waze and submit a report. Police have taken certain security measures during Vase's stay at Bhiwandi Hospital. At Mumbai Hospital, police have ensured that no one with their mobile phones entered the hospital room where Vase was lodged. A register has been kept outside the room in which entry and exit of those meeting Vase is being recorded. So if he is not guarded by the NIA staff, he will make a quick exit like his boss Paramveer Singh and their bigger boss hashtag. So I wonder why he wanted to shift hospital. Was it because of better treatment facilities, or was it because of lack of security?
Yeah, you remember when Sunanda Pushkar's body had gone for PN postmortem, Shashi Tharoor had also, gone, admitted himself in AIMS, saying that he had a heart attack, heart pain. Okay, so that we all know what are these things for, and we all know how sick these people are. It's all, as you say, BS. It's all BS. That's it. Okay, moving on to the Gehna Vashisht. In the case of Gehna Vashisht, she goes for a bold photo shoot with a disclaimer saying these pics have no connection with Raj Kundra, so don't troll him. Since the arrest of actress Shilpa Shetty Kundra's husband, Raj Kundra, in an infamous pornography case, another name that is frequently making rounds in the internet is the case of Gehna Vashisht. The actress, who is currently out on bail in the same porn scandal, recently had a bold photo shoot, and while sharing a few pictures from the photo shoot, she even made a comment on the Raj Kundra case. She captioned one of the posts in Hindi, which loosely translates to, "These pictures have no connection with Raj Kundra, so don't troll him. If you don't like the pictures, dislike them." Not only this, but she also puts a disclaimer stating, "While shooting such pictures in Hyatt Regency, we were around 20 people. Mera koi yu shoshana nahi hua. Neither I was drunk nor I took any juice on sets. And I was in full senses. I went on the sets in auto and came by another auto safely. I got my payment also. Most important, I'm above 18 and I'm a regular artist. So please, after a year and a half or more, don't put allegations on my producers of section 370, 376 and 354. All this, I'll say, friends, is pure drama to protect Porno Kundra and his wife Shilpa Shetty's reputation. And to say that, see, whatever the other women have been doing, was all very legal, and it is all called erotica, not pornography. Yeah, back to you, Debe.
Meanwhile, in the Sakinaka rape case, sections of SC/ST Act has been invoked. Mumbai CP says probe is in its final leg. So, ironically, in this case, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has asked for the case to be fast-tracked. So, why was the SSR and Nisha case, not fast-tracked, right? So, every case is important, but why have they only targeted this case and fast-tracked it? So, with regards to the case on Friday, a woman in her 30s was brutally raped and mutilated in Mumbai's Sakinaka area after a 33-hour long fight for her life. She passed away on Saturday. So, in a key development in the Sakinaka rape and murder, Mumbai's Commissioner of Police Hemant Nagrale, during a press briefing on Monday, asserted that the sections of the Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Atrocities Act has been applied to the case. And the police will now be investigating from the caste angle as well. In this offense, the victim belonged to a particular caste. So we have applied the section of Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe Atrocities Act in the said offense, and we will be investigating the same. Giving details of the investigation so far, Hemant said the accused, Mohan, who hails from UP, has been arrested. And during the interrogation, he has even confessed to the crime. So the Mumbai commissioner informed that the crime weapon has also been recovered and added. We could put a sequence of events involving the crime in a proper time slot on the basis of the video clips available to us because of the CCTV camera. So pointing out that the investigation is in its final leg, the Mumbai Commissioner of Police said, so we are in the final leg. Now we'll be conducting DNA profiling on the specimens of the victims as well that of the accused. Hemant underlined that once that this is done, the police will be able to file the charge sheet in a month's time. So the Mumbai CP has informed that the government of Maharashtra has appointed renowned advocate Raja Thackeray for the case. Raja Thackeray has been leading every important case for the state as well as the central government. So Hemant during the press briefing also highlighted that the National Commission of Women member Chandramukhi Devi and Arun Haldar, chairman of National Commission for Scheduled Castes, also visited the house of the victim and have also interacted with the officers investigating the matter. The members were also part of the meeting, which had in attendance Chief Minister of State Uddhav Thackeray, Home Minister Dilip Walse, among others. So one thing I don't understand is, in this case, Mumbai police have, very efficiently sort of almost solved the case within a short span of time, right?
Yeah.
So, but when it came to the case of SSR and Disha, even now there has been no progress, right?
Yeah, because
there's been no update from the CBI.
Yeah, why they won't do fast track it, we all know.
Yeah.
Because certain people will come out and then they'll start, flying around. The birds will start flying around. So that's a problem. The weather is not so frosty. Okay, back to another piece of news coming from starlet Kashmira Shah, the one who does the item numbers. She says that the late actor Siddharth Shukla lived like a king and would now live in her memory forever as an undefeated king. It has been over a week since actor Siddharth Shukla passed away, but his friends from the industry are still in a shock, they say, though you find them the next day partying and discoing. Now, another one comes in front, Kashmira Shah. She says she's a close friend of the late actor and she's going through the same thing. Sid taught us to live life in our terms. While I'm happy I met him, I'm also angry that I met him because now I know what it is, what it would have been to not have him around. I met his family, and I can tell you that he had the most loving sisters that loved him immensely and a mother that doted on him. Requesting people to allow his family some privacy, the 49-year-old lady said, "We all will eventually move on with our lives, but Sid was a star when he lived, and now he is a bright, shining star in the sky, looking after all his fans and families. Let's not disappoint him and let us maintain his dignity and give his family time to grieve and cope with this sudden tragedy." Shukla, who widened his popularity when he decided to let the audience meet his real personality through a reality show, passed away on September 2 after reportedly, now this is what the police say, suffering from a heart attack. Reports, no postmortem report has come because of the visceral report not having reached them. So Shah got to know Shukla a little better when she stayed with the late actor in a house as part of the reality show. And she's glad she can clutch onto those memories and get through this period. Revisiting the time they spent together on the show, she says, we became extremely good friends. I knew Sid as someone who lived life on his terms. His extreme love for his mother and sisters is what every woman would expect from their son. She even said he never posted anything just to gain followers, and he never did anything he didn't truly believe in. I don't want to think of him as gone. I want to think of him as being away on a shoot or in a house where he cannot get in touch with him. It's a reverse baby house where he can see us, but we can't see him, but we know he's there, she said. So, friends, my thing to you is that, so if people question why there is so much secrecy in the post-mortem that has not yet been yet ascertained his death as heart attack, and the cremation, the secrecy in the cremation where the face was not shown, why is that invasion into his family's privacy, Kashmira? In fact, it's your silence that is spreading doubts about his death. All of you are hushing it up. Nobody can take photographs. Nobody can do anything. Why? And why was the police, not allowing anyone to come close, the photographers to come close? What was there in that, on his face or body that, people should not see? Well, it's very doubtful. So please, this talk about giving privacy, everybody gives privacy to the family. But there's much more than, what meets the eye in his death. Meanwhile, everybody from Shilpa Shetty to Gehna Vashish to Mauni Roy to Riya Chakravarti are doing photo shoots in skimpy clothes. And Riya even terms it as Nari Shakti. So if all the women start saying that's Nari Shakti, you can imagine the plight of the men. Meanwhile, back to you, Jaydev.
Yeah, friends, did you see an interview with Faisal Khan? He's a brother of Amir Khan. He openly states that, like, in his opinion, he thinks that the SSR case was a murder, uh, and justice should be served. It's there in one of the YouTube videos,
Yes.
and that's very surprising that coming since he's coming from a Bollywood, fraternity,
Yeah.
and it was very
He
surprising
also,
when
in fact, he
yeah,
also spoke about Janvi Kukreja. He said, "Look at the
exactly,
murder. There's some people behind it." So he's very frank, and
and
he
he's very
says that, see,
bold.
yeah, and he says that only when these superstars, fall down,
Yeah,
when there are no superstars, will films, be sold on content alone.
exactly. So yeah, meanwhile, in the case of, I mean, NCB is doing good work as usual. NCB arrest Bandra-based drug trafficker from hideout in Gujarat. So the NCB arrested Rubina Sheikh, a major drug trafficker from Meera Dattar, Uncha in Gujarat, where she was hiding since the past 2 months after the agency raided her house in Bandra in July and seized the mephedrone, rupees 77 lakh cash, and gold ornaments worth 30 lakh rupees. The NCB arrested Rubina Sheikh, a major drug trafficker in Gujarat. So it's like Samir Wankade is doing a very good job every day or the other. He's been catching drug lords and drug peddlers. So Sheikh's name had cropped up during the investigation in a drugs case in which actor Gaurav Dixit and Ajaz Khan were arrested. An NCB officer said Sheikh's assistant Nilofer, who allegedly fled with a huge amount of cash and gold, flew a few minutes before they raided her house in Bandra, is still wanted in the case. Sheikh and Nilofer allegedly supplied drugs to parties and high profile people from Mahim to Andheri. Sheikh was produced in the court and has been remanded in the NCB custody. So during interrogation, agency learned that Sheikh was hiding at religious places to avoid arrest. So the two accused are notorious drug suppliers and lived in adjacent houses in Bharat Nagar area in Bandra. They are also known to use minors for drug distribution. After receiving specific information, the agency raided their places in Bharat Nagar on July 19. However, locals alerted the duo when the police team reached the vicinity, following which they collected whatever cash and gold they could and managed to flee, said NCB Zonal Director Samir Wankade. We raided their house and seized all this 109 grams of mephedrine, 77 lakh cash, and gold ornaments. So till now, we have seized 2 kgs of mephedrone worth over 2 crore rupees, 160 grams of ephedrine, 1.15 million rupees in cash, a large amount of foreign currency, and 2 luxury vehicles in the case, said Wankede. So I believe you have something regarding the Telugu actor Navdeep.
Yes. So, friends in the Telugu industry, Telugu actor P. Navdeep appeared before the ED here on Monday as part of a money laundering probe in connection with a high-end drug racket that was busted in the city in 2017. Navdeep is among the 10 people from Tollywood, the Telugu film industry, whom the ED has summoned to appear before it in connection with the sensational racket of supplying high-end narcotics such as LSD and MDMA that was busted by the Telangana's Prohibition and Excise Department. Since August 31st this year, noted filmmaker Puri Jagannath, actresses Charmi Kaur and Rakul Preet Singh, actors Nandu, Rana Dagubati, and Ravi Teja have so far appeared before the central agency. The drug racket was exposed in July 2017, and several cases related to drug trafficking were registered, and over 20 people were arrested, including a US citizen who was a former aerospace engineer and had worked with NASA, a Dutch national, a South African national, besides 7 BTech degree holders employed with multinational companies here. The names of some Tollywood personalities came out during the interrogations of the persons arrested in connection with the racket. A sit of Telangana's Prohibition and Excise Department, as part of its investigation, had also probed the alleged drug links with Tollywood and had questioned 11 people connected to the Telugu film industry, including actors and directors. Besides the driver of one of the actors, had also collected hair and nail samples. The SIT questioned them to find out if they had any links with the racket as consumers or suppliers or with those arrested. The ED summoned the Tollywood personalities who were among those questioned by SIT, and they were asked to appear before it. The racket supplied high-end drugs such as lysergic acid diethylamide, which is LSD, and MDMA. And it is suspected that people from the film industry, employees of MNCs, and college students were among their customers. Orders were placed through the darknet, secretive websites, or online networks. And the drugs were delivered by courier, including from overseas, the investigators had said. Remember, friends, when we discussed with Jia's mother and Janvi's mother, we said that, see, a drug peddler was caught at the party. And most probably, some who were present there were actually drug peddlers. Because a lot of these rich boys are into this to make quick money and to travel and live a luxurious life. So can you imagine? See how these circles are affecting common man's life and how an innocent girl like Janvi had to die, because of this. Back to you, Jay.
Yeah, meanwhile in Afghanistan, things are going from bad to worse. Under Taliban, Afghans talk of price rise, uneventful weddings, and Bollywood ban. So losing his composure while pinning for the old days, 33-year-old Shahidullah Zadran, one of the natives of the coast province on eastern part of Taliban, captured Afghanistan on evening of August 30th, visited an internet cafe in the local Hammam market to download into his cell phone a few newly released Bollywood and Hollywood films and songs. So he had finally surrendered to repeated requests of his wife and children, who have mostly been spending their time locked in their house ever since the armed militia's takeover. On that day, less than an hour past Zadran's arrival, at the busy market that reflected a noticeable absence of women shoppers, a group of armed Talibans led by their commander, they swarmed the internet cafe that he was to visit. Unquestioned as the men waded through the local gathering, the other visitors silently gave way. The Taliban zeroed in on the cafe operator and captured him. They snatched away his computer and other equipment and took them all along in their pickup truck. As they left, they shut the cafe. The onlookers, local residents, and passers-by were warned to not dare to watch any Bollywood film or Hollywood film or play any music aloud. As the savagery unfolded, Zadran stood there as witness. So speaking to media, he said he was told that they took the cafe operator and his computer to the police headquarters building that now is under the Islamic Forces control. No one knows what happened to him. I had gone there to download Akshay Kumar's latest movie, Bell Bottom, on my phone. Like any other film there, mine too loves to watch, I love to watch Bollywood actors. So according to locals, Bollywood songs are much adored, particularly during wedding ceremonies. So last week there was a wedding ceremony in my village. Unlike earlier, it was wrapped up before sunset. No music, no dancing, no feasting. People are really scared. The way we used to enjoy our lives has changed. It doesn't feel like we are in our own country anymore, said Zadran. So Zadran lives in Coast, roughly about 250 kilometers from Kabul, with his parents, wife, brother, and his 2 children. He describes the incident he has recently been witnessing as petrifying, but not uncommon. So Shah, the 25-year-old man, an engineer who lives with his father, brother, and sister-in-law, says that inflation is primarily because of the shortage of goods in the local markets. What we have learned is that imports are affected, impacting the local supplies. Many people have also hoarded rations and other eatables as they fear the markets wouldn't open for long. Everyone is scared. There's so much uncertainty that we do not know what will happen to us in the next day. So he also told that banks too haven't opened since the Talibs dethroned the Afghan government, as a result of which families are running out of the savings. For those who do not have adequate savings, we wonder how tough would survival be. So, friends, it's a very sad state of situation in Afghanistan. Like, there's no freedom. There's no freedom for women. Like, women are treated like dirt. There's no proper governance. And it's like going back, 10,000 years in the past. It's a very sad state of situation there.
Yeah. In fact, in Twitter today, one of the women boldly dressed with all her hair, beautifully styled and in a beautiful Afghani dress, saying that this is how I look. So all the women are also now rebelling against these Talibanis. So that's also a sign of strength from the women. Okay. Meanwhile, before we end, we'd like to end with this very cute clip, friends, where a snow leopard couple cuddles while sleeping. And the netizens say couple goals. Watch this viral video. The snow leopards named Yarko and Leila are among going famous around the internet. The video clip was posted on Instagram from the page of Big Cat Sanctuary. This cute video of two snow leopards sharing a warmth and cuddling will make you go, really mushy. The clip will undoubtedly offer you delight since it depicts love in its purest form. The snow leopards are named Yarko and Leila. They are going famous around the internet. The video clip was posted on Instagram. So I think, Jenny, we can watch that, right?
Yeah, I'm just playing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, back to you, friends. Let me just add a few people. And friends, whenever you come live, please keep your comments civil. Please do not insult anybody. We are here only to, talk about what, the news we have said, or anything you can add to add substance to the session. So please bear in mind, do not insult anybody. Yeah. Welcome, Shashi and Monica and Priyanka.
Hi, ma'am. Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Shashi,
Jaydev.
Monica.
Hi, everybody.
How are you? Yeah.
Hi,
So we start with Shashi. Yes, Shashi.
Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Yeah.
So yes, I think whatever I'm hearing, it saddens me a lot with regard to Afghanistan. But I think it equally pains me to hear about this news about what's happening in Mumbai, especially those rape victims and all that. So today, when I got news about 10 lakh being given to that victim's family, I felt so sad. What is going on? Is in return for money, are we trying to, or are we trying to give protection? That is what we should be aiming to do, right? So
See here, Shashi. See here, I'd like to make a point. See, various ministries are there to look after certain things. Okay, there is a ministry both at the central center as well as the state. Okay, so they have to look into this matter. If the state is not cooperating, it is up to the center to put high pressure on them and tell them that they want results the next day. So why does it happen that only women and children have to suffer? In every other ministry, people are doing wonders. Why is it only this department or this ministry that is suffering? And just yesterday we had posted on Twitter 2 young boys missing in Delhi.
Yep.
Where are these boys going? Where, these child trafficking people, where are they coming from? If they go into UP, immediately Yogi ji will catch them. Or if you go into Assam, Himanta Sharma catches them. Why can't we do the same thing? So after they die, then we start crying. And look at Uddhav Thackeray. He wants fast track. This to be fast track. Why can't SSR and Disha case be fast track? Why can't Jia case, Janvi case be fast track? So I don't understand. I mean, they have their own special cases that need to be fast tracked. I'm not saying that it should not be. The poor lady has died, right? So all the more it should see if that is being done. SSR was 1 year and 3 months back. I mean, why was it not done? Yes. So these are things, Shashi, that upsets us, just like you said.
Yeah, Miss, very much. So, Miss, fast tracking has to be done, and especially in high profile cases, it has to be done simply because it involves the public emotion also. If CBI has
Yes.
come because of the public emotions, then this also has to be taken care of. That is what, that's all, Meena. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thanks,
Shashi.
Shashi.
Yeah. Now, Priyanka, can you come in?
Yeah, ma'am, is it fine if I don't switch on my camera?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
fine.
fine.
Because there is some internet.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Please speak.
uh, there are a lot of points to discuss, ma'am.
Yes.
If we talk about women and children, this is absolutely right, which you are saying
Yes.
that we as a nation, we as lawmakers, as administration, we are failed to protect women and children.
Yes.
It's pile of data which is available. Like if we talk about the literacy ratio of women in India, it is in itself is a big question mark. If we go state-wise also, then there is a big question mark on the literacy ratio.
Yeah.
Then gender ratio also. The amount of rapes which are happening,
Happening. Yeah.
the amount of sexual assault with children, especially with a female child, which are happening,
Yes.
the amount of abortions, ma'am, in India, near about 3 crore. I'm not talking about lakhs. It's
Yes.
in crores. Crores of abortions happen, and maximum of them are of female child.
Yes. Despite
Domestic
despite
violence,
there being a
acid
law,
attacks.
despite Priyanka, despite
Yeah.
there being a law that sonography should not be done for this purpose. So this is
Yes.
banned in India. Despite that, they are
Right.
killing the
Right.
child daughter fetus.
Lot of female child lot of female fetus, newly born babies we find in dustbins.
Yes.
We find them in dustbins.
Yes.
I stay in Rajasthan. In last 6 months there are 2,700 rapes that have been reported, and Rajasthan comes under 5 highest rape attempt states.
Yes.
Highest number of rape attempts and rapes, it comes in. So we as a nation, we actually don't know what is gender equality,
Yeah.
though we talk, oh, women,
Yes. Exactly.
women is getting yeah. And ma'am, like I also did a session on gender equality, and if
Yeah.
we talk about labor contribution of female, it's
Yes.
going down and down. In
Yeah.
1999, contribution of female in labor force was 35%,
Yeah.
but now it is only 19%, which is
Yes.
half.
Yes.
So we are developing in technology, we are developing in so many other things, but as a woman, if we talk about women and children, the sexual abuse of children is increasing day by day,
See
and
here,
every year it increases
Priyanka.
by
Yeah.
30%.
Yeah, Priyanka,
Hello.
I'd like to make a
Yes,
point
ma'am.
here that, see, I
Yeah.
was very surprised and sort of, amused today to find the minister,
Yeah.
concerned minister, riding a bicycle, doing some portion event, that is a
Yes.
nutrition event
Yes.
in different parts of India. Now, is
Sure.
nutrition important or the safety of women and children important? What is the priority? The priority first
That,
for any mother or any father is the safety of their children, their sisters, their
right.
brothers. Okay? Why is that not a priority? And only when someone they feel politically is, a situation arises where they feel it's a political thing, because here scheduled castes are also involved, and that the chief minister has to jump in and say he wants to fast track. So that means you are now
That's right.
segregating between, rape cases. Okay,
Right.
Disha's death was the most gruesome death, yet not a
Right.
finger was raised. In fact, Mumbai police were saying that they had deleted the files. Now, luckily,
Right.
Because Disha's case is very closely tied with SSR, the case can't be ignored. It is in CBI hands.
That's
So whatever Mumbai police says is nonsense as far as we are concerned. Disha case is very closely interlinked with SSR. There is no SSR case without Disha. Okay, so that's one thing we have to be very clear. Another thing, what I want to say, Priyanka, Monica, and Shashi, is that see why we have to fight. We are just the public. Okay, we are
Right.
paying you our tax money, and you're just paid people. Okay, the ministers are just paid people. You are supposed to serve the nation. You're not supposed to be taking selfies and saying that, see, I rode a cycle, or I lost weight, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. Your job is to get all your police staff and say that, see, within so many days, I want the child trafficking, people caught, jailed, and punished. Okay, in whichever way you have to do, you wait for the judiciary later. First, you do your punishing. Okay, for example, in UP and all, it's all immediate justice. This is the kind of justice we want. We don't want you to think about, see, tomorrow another rape. Yeah. Yes, Priyanka. Yeah.
Ma'am, that's what I believe, that they might feel bad, but the lawmakers, so-called lawmakers and so-called law protectors like administrations, SP, MLAs, MPs, IAS officers, most of them, they also don't know what is gender equality.
Yes.
First of all, because I have seen so many cases where MPs, MLAs, politicians, advocates, they are also involved in sexual harassments and sexual assaults. So the people, those who are sitting on such places, if we will allow them to do justice, then I don't think so that they will be do it in a right manner, because
Yes.
उनका खुद का दिमाग ही ऐसा है.
Yes, Monica,
So
you'd like
where
to add
can
on?
we expect? And now, yeah.
I just give Monica a chance to speak. Yes.
Yeah, hi, hello everyone.
Sure.
Hi, yeah, it's indeed very sad topic that we are on. What I feel is like a couple of years back, I had seen this interview of Malika, I think Malika Sharawat, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So this happened a couple of years back. She was getting trolled by the press, and the press was saying that, oh, how can, because she went to Keynes and she made a very open comment that the state of women in India is very regressive.
Yeah.
When I hear such stories, what else is a person supposed to think? Because this is a very regressive state for a woman. A woman is supposed to feel safe, and this is in no way, like, we are not shaming a nation, but it is in front of us. It is what we are seeing, and it breaks my heart, Minaji. As a woman, like, I feel like, is that the value of me if I'm going there, like, anyone can just come and rape me and throw me away like I'm a piece of meat? This is not right. This is not right. We have so many lady temples there, Kali temples. I mean, I'm a big Kali devotee, and like, when I hear that, it just breaks my heart. I'm like, why, in a land where women are worshipped and prayed to, why are they treating them so badly?
Here, Monica, I'd like to say a point.
Yeah.
See, only when the rules, and the punishment are strict, will these
Right.
people learn. Okay. Now, if you have raped, if the punishment is so severe that not one more rapist will come forward, then only our society will be safe. So if
Absolutely.
unless you make, and unless the action is swift, if you have raped, the next day you catch them and then take the action. There should be a certain rule where the action is
Right.
immediately swift. That means all the people who are going to do it, will think 10 times before they do that act.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the people who are perverts. I mean, they are psychologically, there must be something wrong with them. What I'm talking is about the normal people, those who are gang raping these small children, like 5-year-old girls and all that. I mean, this has to come to a stop. And why the hell are we fighting? Why don't we have a government, that says that, see, enough is
Absolutely.
enough? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll
It's
just ask
spot
you.
on because that's
Welcome, KB.
what was on my mind as well.
KB, please, you
Hello.
can
Hi,
just
KB.
mute your TV.
Om Namah
Mute your
Shiva.
TV.
Om Namah Shiva. My TV is off.
Yeah.
It's off. Yeah. Actually, Om Namah Shivaya, Har Har Mahadev,
Har Har.
all the viewers.
Yes.
What you are saying is very true regarding these rape cases and all. I mean, it's unthinkable. I even read about an 18-month-old child was raped.
Yes.
I mean, what is the, it's, I mean, the thinking is only that of a monster, I can say.
Yes.
So, and we have the laws, the constitution says, and recently there were other laws, but why aren't the laws being implemented? I mean, if there are a couple of exemplary punishments, I think that will act as a deterrent. People are watching Nirbhaya case. Asha Rani Devi had to fight the case for 8 years. Why so? It gives encouragement to the people that, "Arey chalo, 8 saal case chalega, dekha jayega."
Maybe yesterday, a few days back, a small girl, about 5-year-old girl, was raped, and she died. Okay. Now,
Where is
what the
this?
people did was, the people got hold of the rapist,
Okay.
and they beat him and they stabbed him, and I don't know whether he lived. But people have started taking justice in their hands
Wonderful.
because they know they're not going to get anything from the courts.
Very good. In fact, I mean, I don't want to promote that kind of lawlessness, but I think they have done a very good thing because such kind of monsters need this kind of treatment only.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. And in the Sakinaka case, where the CM has stepped in and fast-tracked the case, I appreciate that. But my question is, why selective treatment?
Yes.
You think they are not aware of the social media and the SSR warriors fighting for this case since more than a year now? Why can't they put the same fast-tracking for this?
Yeah, KB, I'd like to make I'd like to make a point here, KB, and Monica and the others. See, suddenly, I got some tweets saying that, see, look at this bete, to me. And they attached a letter from Prime Minister to Akshay Kumar, a long, very sentimental letter talking about his mother's death, and then saying that, see how she has built such a responsible son, and blah blah blah, praising him. Okay, now I have no qualms about a prime minister writing to any actor or condoling, giving condolences. Okay, I have no problem. But when you tell me that, see, serves you right for boycotting Bollywood or boycotting Akshay and boycotting Bell Bottom, my answer to them is, I cannot speak for the Prime Minister. Okay, my mission is my own. I can only speak for myself. And if the Prime Minister had written such a letter to Sushant's parents, or to Disha's parents, or to Janvi Kukreja's parents, okay, or even to Siddharth Shukla's parents, I would have felt a little bit happy, saying that, see, the treatment towards public and their grievances is the same. But here, I saw differentiation. And then what happened, KB, is that all Akshay Kumar's fans started trolling me, and they don't, see, they are trolls because they don't have any, followers. So they all came and they used 4-lettered words, and they tried to pull you down because you're a woman. They tried to call you all sorts of 4-lettered words because you said boycott Bell Bottom. Now, I would like to give a clear message to all these people that it is because of all the viewers who are here and all the panelists who are here that Bollywood is suffering now. Okay,
Absolutely,
if you are not getting any takers in your theaters, and if the theaters are empty, you better thank these people, okay, who have been fighting tooth and nail for justice for Sushant, Disha, Janvi, Siddharth. Okay, they have not sat quiet. All of us work in different offices. We are all professionals. We are not sitting quiet. Okay, we did that. Now, if you are suffering, I mean, that's your problem. You did not work in the interest of the country or citizens who were true and pure souls like SSR. So even if you troll me, even if you tag Prime Minister's letter to Akshay Kumar, we will not change. Our message is
And
the
we
same.
are not going to stop, because we
Yes,
know
Malika.
if they think that by trolling we're going to be silenced, you are dead wrong. Okay, we know what happened, and we are going to put
Yeah, I think
Yes,
connection has
AB.
dropped.
Hello, I think Monica's mic has
Yeah,
gone.
she'll come
No,
back. Yeah, she'll come back.
what I feel is that if the Prime Minister has sent a condolence message to Akshay, that's a different issue. But
Yes.
I think he should be more empathetic and at least, first of all, don't forget, he's a Canadian Kumar, he's not an
Yes.
Indian.
Yes.
So if the Prime Minister finds time
Absolutely.
or his office finds time to send a message to a Canadian citizen, he should have the, feeling and empathy for someone who's lost their child.
Yes.
I mean, whether it's Siddharth Shukla's mother or whether it's Janvi's mother, they have lost a child. It's an irreplaceable loss.
Yeah.
So I think he should at least, even maybe not such a big 4 paragraphs. Even if he writes 1 paragraph, I think it would make a world of difference to them. So
Okay, Arinya, this it is not fictitious. It is on the Prime Minister's letterhead only and his signature. So this
No,
is not
it's authentic.
fictitious.
It's authentic. We have seen that.
we are so used to finding fake things with Waze making all fake IDs and Aadhaar cards that we are wondering whether this is also fake. Isn't it?
Maybe I have to leave. Can I make one last point
Yes, Shashi?
before I
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah, Shashi?
Yeah, sure.
See, coming to Akshay Kumar, I don't know, his stance is that only the way he thinks. So all this filthy language and all that only
Can you
the
speak a
way
little louder, Shashi?
I think you have to
Shashi,
mute
Okay.
KB, right? Because the voice is echoing.
Yeah, Shashi, can you speak a little loudly? Yeah.
Yeah, is it better now? I'm holding the mic as
Yeah,
close as
fine,
possible. Okay. So coming to Akshay Kumar, I think I don't think we have to give that much weightage to fans because I think we are more in population now than all these Bollywood biggies as we call them together. So let's not I think we should support each other, Meenaji. That is what we should be focusing on and let them troll. And we have shown our power. Means even Bell Bottom, I think now is getting released on OTT thanks to the
Yes,
we
absolutely.
boycotting. So the collections have been very low. Even for Taliban, it has been the case.
Yes,
So I
it's
don't
very
think we
low.
have to do anything anymore to these people.
Yeah. You know,
So
here,
that's on that.
Shashi, I would like to make a point. See, it's very easy to ignore them as well, okay? But
Yeah.
when they get it back in the same coin, they also keep quiet. So that's
Yeah.
why I give back, because see, when they directly target me, there is a message that they're giving me. So I give a message back. That's it. Then after that, they keep quiet. So
Very
it's
much,
a
very much.
fight.
Because
Shashi, it's a fight. And there is no way we can count out.
They're paid to fight only for that much, Minaji.
Yes,
we are not.
absolutely.
We are on our own, so that is why we can think for ourselves. That is the thing.
Yes, yes.
And coming to all this rape victims, see, my take is that I think it's high time we should start looking at preventive measures also. How do we avoid rape? So I had put some steps. I don't know if maybe the PM has got a chance to look at that also.
Yeah.
The first thing is I think we need to get into the mindset of all these rapists. Why do they behave like that? Means what is it that they see even in an 18-month-old baby like KBG said? So I think that is one thing. Means all of them have to be arrested, of course. Run them through a psychology test, maybe through a psychiatric test also to see what is going wrong, maybe in a group of all these rapists. And then capital punishment, nothing less than that now, because the crime rate is so high and it's impacting a lot of, forget only ladies, even children are getting targeted. So capital punishment is the only way ahead. That will instill, and that has to be given speedily, not like even after Nirbhaya case, 7 years after the case, all these people are getting hung and all that. So that is not the way. And of course, use the data which they would have, psychiatrists or the psychologists would have gathered to see if there are similar minded people around us. I think that awareness is very important because we really don't know why those rapists things like that. Even a 18-month-old baby, do they look at those babies as sex objects? I don't know. So that is a place where we should start, and then I think we should all be educated, at least all the 18 plus people should be educated on that mindset, so that we recognize those symptoms, and if somebody is found, maybe that treatment can be given before any crime is committed, and maybe we can see some kind of a reduction in in that particular crime. But I don't know, is that something which we are still doing or which we plan to do in the near future? But I think that is the way forward. We can at least try to reduce.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to add one point.
Sure, Jay, sure.
Shashi sir, like one more point which I thought is like, cyber police or cyber, hackers, they can sort of search for keywords, like certain keywords, like which pedophiles like they type, and maybe like they can preempt any crime in advance. That's one thought. Like they can prevent something from happening.
Yes, very much. I think that's a very good idea, Jay. So maybe that could give, even if out of 10 people.
Here, Shashi, I'd like to make a point here, Jaydev, Shashi, and Monica. One thing is that, in a very short span of time, a woman called a police woman, a constable called Seema Dhaka, in a matter of 6 or 7 months, caught about so many child traffickers and brought all the children back home. Around 70 children were brought back home. Now, if she was promoted and rewarded, but what I'm saying is, if a young girl like her can do it, you mean to say our governments are not powerful and dynamic enough to stop this?
They can bring 70 million people. Forget 70 kids. Yes, if they make up their mind. That political will have to be there. Yes. That's all I have.
We are SSR. Thank you, Shashi.
Thank you.
We have one more guest. That's VR SSR. Would you like to speak?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you need to be a little louder.
Yes, I think. Is this good enough?
Yeah, it's good. Yes.
It's
what's your name?
Mrs. Narayan. I'm Karun.
How are you?
I've been on your platform before, and I love your platform.
Yeah, I just recognize the sweet voice. Yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to talk about this, and I've been waiting to talk about this on a appropriate platform.
Yes.
There's so many things that the gentleman right before me, the gentleman that spoke, he brought up very relevant points. And one of the things, I'm just going to sort of piggyback on everything that he said. I'm going to pretend like he was bringing up points that just need to be expatiated on. I don't know whether he cares for that or not. But number one, he spoke about, one of the other persons spoke about, are we not equipped enough from a research point of view or from a law point of view to address the matter?
Yes.
Are we not? So from that point of view, the question is, do we have adequate analysis and research and statistics in the field of psychopathology to understand what goes on in the mind of a gang rapist or a rapist?
Yes.
Can these people be considered normal? Can one human being or a bunch who have even one time even thought about raping a child or sexually molesting another human being, be it a child, a woman, a man, or an elderly, is that person even considered normal from a scientific perspective in behavioral sciences?
Yes.
That would be a good question to ask. Do we have an answer to that question? Do we have an answer? Do we have a research-based answer to that question? Yes, we do. Why is it that this answer is not spoken about and broadcasted on BBC or CNN or Doordarshan for that matter? There is a very important, a specific answer to that question. Why are we not talking about psychopathology in the field of raping? I'm being so blunt about this. Why is that not spoken about? There is a very specific answer to that question. Why is it that we have films and shows? At this point, I'm not even talking about what's going on in India in terms of television and media. The reason being that India and Pakistan and all of Indian subcontinent is basically relegated to just mimicking whatever happens in the West. It is not the choice always of Indian people. a lot of Indian people will make fun of the television shows and such and say, oh, this is just a copy of the West. I don't think that, first of all, it's not even what I think of. I hardly like to think of just my opinion. I'm coming from a very scientific perspective or perhaps a research-based perspective. So the reason copies are made of songs and videos and films is because that is what it is supposed to be. Right now, most of Bollywood is actually owned by America or some Western civilization. From a broader perspective, somebody from the Western civilization, be it a corporation or what have you. So do we have a very clear answer to the question of...
I'd like KB to come in.
I don't think my views on that are a little different. I don't think that foreign companies have a hold on Bollywood. I feel that it is some particular individuals in another country, which is not so far as America, but out of India. Yeah, and coming to the point of what Shashiji just told, I'd also like to make some points there, that he was telling that the rapist should be identified and made to understand the gravity of the thing. How do you identify a rapist? How do we identify a rapist? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, there may be what you say psychologically, that may be possible. But I think the general level of Indians, I don't think they have reached that level where each one can be, we can have a mapping of their psychology to understand, who could be a potential rapist. I don't think India has still reached that level, Meenaji. In my opinion, what do you feel?
Mrs. KB, I don't think that anybody, any civilization right now has reached that.
No, my thing is that in my opinion, if you ask me, I would suggest that it requires conditioning from the childhood. The parents need to condition their sons that you have to give respect to the girls equally.
Yes.
It starts, they say you bend the plant and you bend the tree.
Yes.
So also with this, it is in the growing years. This is a very important role that the mothers need to play, because the fathers are mostly busy earning money to run the family. So it's the mothers, in my opinion, let me just complete my point. So in my opinion, it's the case of the mothers who need to condition the child, mainly the male child, to understand. Because in India, the male child is usually told he is superior to the girl child. This is something, I mean, I don't know about the cities, but at least in rural areas, it is very much there. Even in cities, the male child is given a superiority complex right from his childhood and growing years, which is why when he grows up and he becomes an adult, he thinks that he is superior to the female. And one way where he can dominate the female is by physically assaulting her, molesting her, raping her. This is my view on it. I may be wrong, but this is my view.
No, Mrs. KB, you're accurate on it. You're accurate, except that there's going to be a multi-pronged effort to address a scenario of gang rapes and rapes that are so prevalent. There's going to be a multi-pronged effort, and one of them is fundamental to psychology, and that is what you just said, that the way you bring up the children, or rather the way civilization is being addressed in itself, needs to undergo perhaps not just a change, but like sort of returning to the culture that we came from. Because there was a time when our culture, our mothers knew how to bring their children up, right? There was a time when all of this was already set up. We have deteriorated. And so you're 100% right in saying that boys and girls need to be educated in the correct way. And I think it's usually the mother that needs to do that. That's a separate issue. But when I said psychopathology, and what I was addressing, what I was talking about, is addressing the problem from a scientific perspective to understand that just because the question is why there's so many rapists that are waiting to get a sentence. Because that's a big question. Why are they in jails? Why? What is the point in keeping them there? The point in keeping them there is that there is an understanding or a general ethos that perhaps they need to be counseled. or that they are going to serve a 1 year sentence, 2 year sentence in jail, and then they will be released back into society because because they said sorry, they apologized, they're feeling bad about it. The question is it possible for a rapist to ever recover from what? Like he was mentally ill? Is that why he was raping? That's the question. It's not malaria, right? You don't get sick. Like, like, oh, I'm so sick, I'm raping people, I'm going to be fine tomorrow. It doesn't work that way, is what I'm trying to say to you. That so if we are going to have dialogues with lawmakers and with elected representatives, it needs to be research based. Like us, what is the meaning of psychopathology when it comes to these kind of crimes? There is a code, a legal code within psychopathology, abnormal psychology, for the lack of, for a lack of a better term. Within abnormal psychology, we have codes, very specific codes. We have an entire terminology as to who is going to conduct, who's going to do these kind of, who's going to perpetrate these sort of crimes, and what is the chance that they would change. What kind of a background did they come from? What were they taught? What were they exposed to?
Kaudi, I'd just like to interrupt here. Yeah. Kaudi, here, see, Rekha has made a very good point. Rekha says all item songs should be eradicated.
Yes.
Now
yes.
here, see, you remember when Nirbhaya was raped? See, these people who had raped her were all drunk on alcohol or drugs, and they were watching porno films, and they listened to these dirty songs, okay,
Yes.
these item songs. Then what happens is they are, they lose their control, and any woman is seen as bait. Okay, so these things, what she says, Rekha says, is very, very important, and that's why if we don't take care of our society, these things will happen. Moreover, what KB also said is very true. If we cannot bring up our sons with respect, to respect women, then that's another very important point. For example, from the beginning, mothers tell their children that, girls will just get married and go off. It's only the sons who will remain with you and look after you. Actually, it's the opposite, Kaudi. Because, see, many of us are taking care of our mothers. It's not our brothers who are taking care of them. Every day-to-day need, it's the daughters who are taking care. In most cases, I'm not saying every case, okay? So, ultimately, I find in many cases, it's the daughters who are more useful, to the mothers. Okay, that's another issue. What I'm saying is, as KB said, respect, should be taught at home, at school, in colleges, so this is very important. Okay, I'd just like to add, I think Freebird has joined us. Freebird, would you like to join us?
Hey, hi, good evening, everyone.
You
Hello,
need to
Meena
speak a
ma'am.
little loudly.
Am I audible now, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Hi, good evening, everyone. It's
Good evening.
such a wonderful experience to be here. Like, I have been watching all of you guys for so long, and I'm sure you would have seen my comments and everything, and
Yes.
of course, my hatred towards Bollywood also. Hey, Monica, I hope you're feeling better now.
Hi,
Hello, KB
dear.
ma'am.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, ma'am, Meena, ma'am, just now the point which you said, I
Yes.
totally agree. In fact, the lady, I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but
Kaudi, yeah.
Kaudi, hi, Kaudi. So, what she said, it's also right, and I would just like to add in here. Why do we let our children? Children means probably below the age of adolescence. Why do we let them view Indian movies, or when we know that these are not meant for children, they are not meant for to handle that kind of what do you say, nudity, and the kind of
Yes.
whatever character what we see in them. Like, if we know that these are above 18, that means it's pretty obvious that above 18 you have that kind of mentality to figure out if you're comfortable wearing a tank top, or if you're comfortable even wearing a bikini, I would say, right? So I think so I'll say I'm not a parent, but what I have only seen, why do we let them, small kids, why do we let them view these songs or these item songs, and these kind of heroines who just love to show their skin and everything? I think these are not these are not meant for children, especially all those people all those children who just think that, yeah, this is like a gala time for me, or this is like a leisure time for me. I don't have my school, I've done my homework, I'm a good boy, I'm a good girl. अभी मम्मी पापा मेरे को देखने देंगे, बट मम्मी पापा को तो ये सोचना चाहिए ना कि जो आप देखने दे रहे हो, that's actually spoiling your kids mentality.
Yes.
आगे जाके we don't even know कि आगे वो वुमेन की रिस्पेक्ट करेगा या नहीं करेगा, कहीं वो साइबर क्राइम तो नहीं कर देगा. आजकल साइबर क्राइम में भी, and I'm not only saying it's only against women, it's against men also.
Yes.
Both are getting victimized,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So of course, जो वो कावडी मैम ने पहले से ही जो एक मेंटालिटी की और उनकी बात की थी, शशि सर ने बात की थी, आई एब्सोल्युटली एग्री. बट आई थिंक अगर हम जड़ से ही, अगर रूट कॉज को ही अगर हम लोग सॉल्व कर दें, like we can actually change the face of India, right? Our future
Yes,
generation.
Yes.
And उसमें I mean there must be people out there who will say कि ठीक है, Freebird, you're not a parent like you said, but you
Yes.
don't know the pain and hardship and all. I know
Yeah.
that. मैं parent नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मैं किसी की बेटी हूँ.
Hmm.
I'm a sister, I'm a wife also. और किसी न किसी की आंटी भी हूँ मैं. So अगर मैं उनके पर्सपेक्टिव को थोड़ा सा समझ के ये चीज आइडिया दे रही हूँ, that means ये कहीं ना कहीं possible है. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Freebird, I would like to make a point here, is that, see, if you're on social media and you've been there for a long time, you will see that the fans of SRK, Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar, and Saif Ali and all these people, see, they have I think they're paid fans. Their language is so bad that the moment a woman says something, they call you four-letter words. Now, if they want you to watch their movies, then they need to learn to respect us. Okay? I may be an auntie, I may be a grandmother, I may be a sister, I may be a mother. Okay? First, you respect me. Then I'll take money from my purse and pay for your movie. Okay? If you teach your fans to disrespect me, I'm not going to watch a single movie of yours. Okay? You don't respect your wives, your daughters, your children, anybody, and you expect us to watch your movies. See, that is the irony, Freebird. The irony
Exactly.
that they don't want their fans to respect. I said that. See, I actually in social media, I pasted a picture of a man, in a very vulgar pose, telling me that, see, this is what you deserve, and then he attached a Prime Minister's letter. Okay, and he says that he's an Akki fan. Now, if Akshay Kumar wants us to watch Bell Bottom, he better respect us and tell us, Meena ji, please come and watch my movie and do a good review. You tell your fans, to FO, and then we should watch your movie, pay our hard-earned money.
This is the respect they have for us. Like,
Yeah, Monica.
it just, I don't get it. They want us to come and watch their movies, and this is the respect that they give us. I mean, I have no words. I mean, I'm sorry.
Mrs.
It's just
Narayan, I'd
way
like
off.
to.
Yeah,
Mrs. Narayan, I'd like to.
Ma'am,
point-
have you seen Garam Masala movie?
Yeah.
1 minute. Let
May I?
TV come in.
May I? Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as these people who use these four-letter words, I feel it is a reflection of their upbringing and their decadence. I mean, to
Yes.
what levels they can stoop, it is their language which displays it. This is one. And second thing is that if he thinks that only Meena ji will not watch, so how does it matter? So he's mistaken, because it has a cascading effect.
Yeah.
Today, Meena ma'am will not see. Tomorrow, her 50 fans will not see. Those 50 will tell another 50. So it will have a cascading effect. And then when he will realize it, he wouldn't know what has hit him. There will be no one watching his movies.
Yes.
This is what I have to say.
Exactly, KB ma'am. In fact, a few months ago, I had Twitter account, and बीच में एक news आई थी बीच में, like, so basically Twitter was against Indian law, right? So and
I
they
think
had the
Freebird, you
case
need
and
to speak
everything
a
going
little
on.
loudly.
Ma'am, am I audible?
A little louder, yeah. A little louder.
Okay, is it fine, ma'am?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. So I was on Twitter, and beach mein there was one news that Twitter was actually biased and it was against our Indian law, Indian government. right? And then someone like actually they were dragged into the court, and there was some court case going on or whatever. So because of that, I just deactivated my Twitter account. And Meena
Yes.
ma'am, you won't believe, only I got inspired by you and this movement which was going on to get justice to our SSR and Disha and all those innocent souls. Because only because of that I joined Twitter back.
Yeah. Thank you so
And
much.
credit goes to Sanjit sir also. Sanjit sir, if you're there, if you're listening, thanks to you also, and all those insightful sessions and all that such information wali sessions. The thing about our killing of our scientist, brain controlling that serum, that chemical, brain controlling. Then Bill Gates keep planning, then Illuminati. I mean, there is so much. I feel that we don't even know even a half percentage of it. It's that deep. And like this, what I say, in fact, I had commented earlier also, we cannot expect even to bring a change in one day. It's not going to happen like that. We have to keep our strength, we have to keep our focus very strong, will very strong, because it's going to take generations. And we have to be very strong for it. We have to keep ourselves strong, our will strong, we have to keep our children strong and mindful.
Yes,
You know,
maybe you
that's
can
all.
say something.
Yeah, Freebird, I would like to say this. Yes, it will take ages, but we have to make a start somewhere. If we look at
Ma'am, we have
our
already
culture,
started. We have
yes, no, no.
already started.
See, if you look back at Indian heritage and culture, हमारी सभ्यता बहुत पुरानी है. We have really, I mean, we have so many things to be proud of. लेकिन आजकल जो ड्रेसेस वगैरह बॉलीवुड में पहन रहे हैं, वो हमारी सभ्यता नहीं है. You know, this is something which the censorship board or the INB ministry should look into. That is this the culture of India? Maybe in Hollywood they wear it. Maybe, I don't know. That's a different culture. Western culture, it is okay. But there are certain things. हमारे संस्कार हैं, हमारी एक सभ्यता है, उसको हमें याद रखना चाहिए. When we dress, what we portray and project in the film world is adopted by so many millions of people. They think that this is the latest thing. So we should project what is good. When we project decadence, when we project people wearing skimpy clothes, when we project that if you can you molest a female and that's okay, the youth of today thinks, "Acha, aisa bhi hota hai." We can. I mean, they think they have the license to do that. Today, as Kaudi madam was saying, that the rapists they need counseling and all. My thing is, the first thing is that don't expose them to that kind of media. That has an effect on the mind and the brain and on the psychology of the growing youth. So
Kaudi,
if
would
we
you
nip
like
it
to
in the bud, I feel it should be nipped in the bud. Counseling in
absolutely.
jail is after the crime is committed. Why allow the crime to happen? Let us let us take preventive measures rather than corrective measures.
Yes.
I feel so. If Kaudi would
Very
like
true.
to add in something.
Very true. Kaudi?
I think she's on
Kaudi?
mute.
Oh, I'm
She's in mute.
Karun. I'm
Yeah.
Karun.
Oh,
I
Karun,
wanted to
Oh,
say,
Karun.
I'm Karun. I wanted to say very quickly, I was waiting. Mrs. KB, I want to say to you, Mrs. KB, that there's something about the way you talk that's quite mesmerizing. It's just there. It just is true. I'm just letting you know. I've actually observed myself. It's very calming as well.
She's a very wise lady.
No, it's just not wise. I mean, even though you get worked up and you get a bit passionate when you're talking,
Absolutely.
it's still very calming. It's still very calming. It's like sends you off in a trance. I wanted to say very quickly that everything that you're saying, Mrs. KB, is 100% accurate. My point of view is a little bit more informed by research. And I'm going to say to you that it is not a coincidence that Bollywood or whatever is happening on television, be it Hollywood or Bollywood, it's not a coincidence that it is leading the consequence. I'm going to use the word consequence of it is a decadence and debauchery in society. It's not a coincidence. It was created this way. Script dialogue writing is a different issue, but when scripts are created, they're created in a very scientific methodology, right? Scripts are not science, but the methodology that is used to create scripts be it Bollywood, Hollywood, or television show scripts, is very highly it's very scientific in nature. In the sense that they reverse engineer all the things that they want to convey through the film or the movie or the documentary. Right? First, they create the messages that they want to give you, the core psychological placements, the cognitive, the way they are going to affect the human beings cognitively are first picked up. And then from there, dialogues and films and costumes are created. This may not be true for every small, tiny regional film that is being created in India or anywhere. But the point is that there's a larger framework, and then there are smaller frameworks. Whatever I'm talking about is very structured, very well organized. And Bollywood or Hollywood, all of these words were created for social re-engineering. There is a Tavistock Institute in London. You can look them up. Tavistock Institute in London, which is very well known. And it is the base, at least the known base and headquarters of all of this trash. This trash is not an accident or a coincidence or human nature even. This is against human nature. Psychopathology weaponizes human virtues and human nature against human beings, such as children's innocence and natural curiosity is utilized by molesters, child molesters. And I'm not talking about rapists. Rapists are separate from the child molesters, who are uncles and whoever that sneak into a child's house for the purpose of molesting the child. That's a different type of molester. The gang rapist is a different type, obviously, right? But all of this comes under what we know as cluster B personality types. You can look it up. And it's interesting that it's never talked about. It's never talked about in televisions, and it's not talked about in documentaries. If you go to school for psychology at the bachelor's level, you'll never will understand all of this. You'll have to actually understand criminal psychology. You'll have to actually get some education in that and go deep and work in it for you to understand it. But once you work in it and you're employed by the government, you're not going to be allowed to come on YouTube and talk about it. You're not allowed to. We're not allowed to openly address the public and tell them that the answers to the questions are actually very simple and they're documented. They have the documents. They have the statistics. Once you become a government employee, that's the only way to get to know all of this information. You're not allowed to come out. I would love to. I would love to turn this camera on and just talk about it, and I am restricted. But however, I'm trying to give you my best input and letting you know that please know that all the information exists. Statistics exist. The day you go up to your elected representatives and engage them in a dialogue as the citizens of this country in large groups, the answers will come out very quickly because the information already exists. As a matter of fact, all of this nonsense that we see, whether it is in lawmaking or it is in films, politicians, whatever, wherever it is based on research. You may say that, oh, are you really sure that all these half-baked politicians are research-based? They may not directly be research-based, but they're being guided, and their lobbies are being directed completely by research. It is not an accident. Neither is it human nature for all of this to be happening in so many different countries.
Okay, here, let me tell you one thing. See,
yes.
These politicians now who are not reacting are related to these, people who are in the cabal through certain businesses.
Yes.
Okay? And if their businesses have to prosper, they have to keep quiet about it. So what do? They divert the issue, and they'll bring up some other issue and say that's a fight for that. No, the main issue in India is it has to be crime-free. We want to exist, in a crime-free city, state, or country. So that's our priority. You do everything else. You can have your strikes, you can have everything else. First, you reassure us that the country is safe. Okay, whatever methodology you use is your concern. Okay, but you make sure that our children or our grandchildren or sisters or daughters, or boys also, we talk about boys also, are not raped or exploited or trafficked. Okay, someone got very angry with me the other day and told me that, see, ma'am, why are you always using the word child trafficking, or women trafficking? So I said, so you mean to say it's not happening in India? So he was saying, where? So I said, that's why. You live in a political bubble where you can't even see the pain of the common man. You can't even see the number of deaths that have happened. Okay? So which politicians? Okay? He wants to know which politicians. They're all the same. They're all the same, except for a few.
Yes.
So this is happening all the time. This debate is happening all the time. Unless we have selfless people, at the helm, changes cannot come fast. And we have a judiciary system where the judges will act only if they are attacked. Okay, so someone, they gave her the same bounty for a person because in that judge's case, saying that if the person is found, then he'll be rewarded. Why in SSR's case people are not rewarded? Why in Disha's case people are not rewarded if they find the culprits? So is it only the legal system and the political system that needs protection? People don't need it. Common man doesn't need it. Okay, I think Priyanka, you can come in. You just come in here.
Ma'am, I'll take a leave. Probably I'll just let someone else also do. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening, and I'll be there watching everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.
Mrs. Narayan, one thing that if you don't mind me giving an input about is there is a lot of talk of sex education for children. Yeah. And that is something that needs to be looked into, right? Like really needs to be analyzed, because if you're going to, I see, of course, I belong to the fraternity. I see the value and how sex education for children has evolved, and what is the point of it. I see the reasons for it, but I will say that as a method to address child sex abuse and molestation, it is completely the opposite of what it should be. Because if one has to, it is the job of the adults and the primary caretakers of the child to ensure the child's safety and innocence and curiosity. And if we are going to have to tell little children what is a safe touch and a good touch and a bad touch, if we have to start doing it, and I do understand why it needs to be done, I get it. Please don't start educating me. And there's some people jump in to educate me on those matters. Those are very, very, very basic things. I don't need to be educated on that. But the point is that once you start educating a little child and telling them that, this is a safe touch, this is a good touch, what immediately happens is that the child gets curious about this whole touch business. And it does the exact opposite of what it should do. Right? In a scenario where there is no other way, where, let's say, for example, the cases that I've seen is that there is there's a high conflict couple that are getting divorced, and of course, the nasty lawyers are involved. Then, of course, very often there is a need. I've seen the need for a mother to tell her child that if father or grandfather touches you this and that way, you need to inform the police and such. That happens, but the point is that generally, like, thinking of safe touch, good touch, bad touch as a fashion symbol, because a lot of people do it for no reason. They think it's fashionable to do that, right? It's cool, it's sexy, it's westernized, it's American to just go ahead and talk to children that way. It is not, because the child's mind is extremely curious by its very nature, and they will want to know what is behind the safe touch, good touch, bad touch, and it will attract the wrong attention. So again, going back to what Mrs. KB said, is that we need a society which is clean, which is wholesome, which is based on family structure and unit, and children need to be within marriages and larger family units.
Right? Yeah, I'd like to respond to what you said. You talked about so much of data being available. No doubt, I'm not aware of it, but I 100% agree with you. But the question is, the will to change should be there.
100%.
See, there are so many laws in the Constitution. The law says rape is not a correct thing. There's
we need to implement it as well. It's not just about knowing the numbers. We know the numbers. We know, but what is done about it?
100%.
It's easy for us to sit here and say, "Oh, but this happened, that." We know that, but it's been years. India has been going on this way for years.
Yes, it's there in the books.
They are not aware about it. So we need to start from there.
Exactly. The first and foremost, the will to change. Then the actual steps on the floor. what are you doing corrective measures? We need to see that. And what
See?
I personally feel, just like we have a Swachh Bharat, और प्रधानमंत्री ने हमें स्वच्छ भारत के सपने दिखाए हैं, बहुत जगह हुआ भी है, तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि हमारे फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में भी स्वच्छता आए. तो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी अप्रिशिएट करते हैं, सब मतलब चिट्ठी लिखते हैं फिल्म स्टार्स को, उसमें कोई दोष नहीं है, अच्छी बात है. लेकिन उनको ये भी थोड़ा देखना चाहिए कि हम जो पड़ोस रहे अपने छोटे बच्चों को, जो ग्रोइंग यूथ है, जो कल का भविष्य है इंडिया का, हम उसको क्या दिखा रहे हैं, हम उसको क्या ट्रेन कर रहे हैं कि इस तरह के कपड़े पहनो और इस तरह का व्यवहार करो. तो वी शुड, आई थिंक वी शुड लेट देम इनहेरिट गुड थिंग्स, गुड वैल्यूज. तो यहाँ पे भी एक स्वच्छता अभियान जरूरी है. If the Prime Minister's office takes a note of that and takes some corrective measures, and maybe the censor board needs to be moved out of where it is at the moment. Yeah, maybe that is one reason why the censor board is not using its scissors properly.
Yeah, it's not.
Maybe it doesn't have that much of independence. I'm just thinking. I mean, I may be wrong, but it needs to be monitored more strictly. Is my personal opinion. Yes.
Well, I would say the
Priyanka, would you like to comment?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I was listening to whatever point everyone was placing. That's absolutely right. The biggest challenge in coming days will be child sexual abuse.
Yes.
Because now women have also started raising their voice. So the softest target for such people will only be children. And most of the sexual harassment is done at home. Yeah. It is not done outside, it is done at home. And 80% cases are unreported. Because a child cannot say it, cannot express it, and especially the abuser or the person who has done it, he always threaten that child. They always threaten them.
Yes.
So, and child sexual abuse has very, very long-term impact
Effects,
or
yes.
bad impact, yes, on the mental health
of the child.
And it goes to any extent. Even
Yes.
that person can himself become a criminal.
Yes,
At the elder. Yes, I am saying so because I myself, I am a sexual abuse survivor, and
Okay.
I was abused in childhood.
Okay.
And I've been dealing with such people, so I
Yes.
know it very well.
And
another thing is,
was any action taken against your perpetrator?
Yes, I have taken. There were few people who were involved, so against few I have taken, and one of them is left. And the reason for not taking action is because he is associated with a strong politician.
Okay.
So I'm just finding out how I have to take action against him.
Okay.
And ma'am, the bigger challenge will come in the areas where education is not that much.
Yeah.
Because parents are not aware, they don't want to accept that such thing is happening.
Yes.
And especially women are also not educated, and in villages and small cities, it is only women who most of the time take care of the child.
Yes.
So the cases, the situations will be far more worst in such areas. And even, ma'am, administration is also not educated.
Yes.
Like if a lot of times I have been associated with NGOs who work for dowry, sexual harassment and rapes, and most of the women are uneducated. Ma'am, the scenario is when you go to police station, the woman is not educated. She doesn't know how to file FIR.
Yes.
So even police person, they don't help them properly. And if they help also, they write FIR in such a way that minimum number of acts or penal codes should go against the culprit, because जितनी धाराएं वो लगाएंगे उनको उनके बेसिस पर इन्वेस्टिगेशन ज्यादा करना पड़ेगा, तो वो उसमें धाराएं ही कम लगाते हैं ताकि उनको इन्वेस्टिगेशन ही कम करनी पड़े, या उसको वो they fabricate it. Yes. And most of the time, if the woman is not educated, they will not even file FIR.
Yes.
So because on monthly basis they also have to give report to their seniors or to the police commissioner or to the ministry of the state, to the chief minister's office, that how many FIR have been filed. So if too much of FIR have been filed in one police station, then it becomes a question mark कि इतने आपके पुलिस स्टेशन में इतने FIR क्यों फाइल हुए हैं, तो वो FIR ही फाइल नहीं करते. Now if we talk about child sexual abuse, the scenario is totally different. Even the administration is mentally not equipped to fight such cases.
Okay.
और फिर जब child sexual abuse की बात आती है, तो then since now laws are becoming more stringent, तो अगर किसी पे child sexual abuse का, if somebody is charged with child sexual abuse blames, so before parents reach to police station, if the person against whom the charges are made, he will call to police station and he will tell them, अरे इनकी बात मत सुनना.
Yeah.
So there are, ma'am, at ground level things are totally different. Most of the cases they go unreported.
Yes.
And child sexual abuse is a totally different story, and people compare it with rape. No, it's far beyond rape, because it is done in childhood. It is done with a child and you can't see it.
Yeah.
In rape, still we can see a woman or a man with whom it has happened, he can say or he can speak. But child sexual abuse, or ma'am, in 2016, I think 2016 or 17, in National Women Commission, this question was raised, because National Women Commission was getting lot of phone calls where elderly people were calling them and they were saying that I was sexually abused in my childhood.
Yeah.
So a new law was passed that whenever a child sexual abuse case will come, even after 10 or 20 years, we will consider it as a case, because a child cannot speak.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of challenges, ma'am. Like, I have written a letter to NCW also, because what challenges I faced, and so it's I mean,
Priyanka,
yes,
all this NCW and all, no, they don't do a thing. They just sit there to get the credit. Okay, it's women, ordinary women like us who are fighting. They won't do a thing. And I raised this issue in social media. I asked Rekha Sharma, what is she doing?
Yes.
There was a case where Mahesh Bhatt was taking all these women, Mauni Roy and all them, all of them. And there was a big case, it was about escorts and exploiting women at a show. What did they do?
Yes.
They forgot about the case. First, they pulled it up. I don't know what happened after that. The case fizzled out. You see? So they are just sitting there like, just showpieces. The work is not done by them.
Ma'am, they just show good things like, oh, NCW has done this, NCW has done
and
that.
She got a second term.
Attended this.
That lady has got a second term. Can you imagine?
And ma'am, I was sexually abused on one channel also. You might be knowing, it's quite famous channel. Few days back only, 2 months back. So I wrote that also to Rekha ma'am on Twitter, that this is what has happened on a very famous channel, what I should do. But there was no reply. So why then that Twitter handle is there?
Yeah, exactly. For what?
Yeah.
Priyanka, sorry, I have one question.
Yes, Monica.
One question. Okay, this is for Priyanka. So, when this happened to you, you went to the cops, right? So, were you listened to? Did they
No, till
sit
now, no.
down and
Yeah,
take a
I am doing, ma'am. I am doing. Actually, I took uh, at least 5 to 6 days to discuss it with few people, so that
okay,
I go very systematically. Because मैं हमारे यहाँ पे क्या होता है मैम, आप एफआईआर
okay,
फाइल करा दो तो वो आप अगर आपका प्रॉपर नहीं है ना एफआईआर तो वो उसको भी रिजेक्ट कर देते। जब वो कोर्ट के
oh,
जिम्मे जाता है केस तो वो उसी में 10 गलती निकाल
Reject
के
होता है।
बोलेंगे ये तो केस ही नहीं बनता है।
Hmm.
So I took 4 5 days. I discussed it with few people, and then I went to file the case. Because,
right,
but there are challenges. There are challenges. They don't take it. Since it's an online, तो ये सोचते हैं अरे ठीक है हाँ online है कोई बात
They
नहीं
don't take
गाली
it
निकाल
seriously.
दिया तो
Yeah.
yeah, ma'am. I have
And were
seen.
there like
I
women organizations that tried to help you? Any women,
No,
like they have
I have not
organizations
till
there
now.
for
I have
women?
not gone. I have no. Yes,
Okay,
I have spoken to a few organizations, but I was actually waiting to see what government system is doing, so that I
right.
have
Okay, I got it.
answers.
Yeah,
And
Right.
Priyanka,
now I have.
a
Perfectly clear.
question, Priyanka.
Yes, ma'am.
See, you spoke about
Yes,
the television show. Can you just elaborate on that if you don't mind?
no. YouTube,
Ah, ah.
YouTube.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. It was Varun Kapoor's channel where I got abused, and the
I was
slangs
abused
were
there as well. Yes.
totally. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
You were abused for what?
So it was the language was. Ma'am, it was like the Guinness World Record, which was going on for
Okay.
14 days. And in the night, Mr. Vaibhav Tiwari and one of his very close friends, they were making fun of dowry and rapes and sexual assault.
Okay.
They were literally making fun of it.
Okay.
And they don't know about data and all, because I go to NGOs and I see these women like पेट्रोल डालकर जला दिया है, डाउरी नहीं दिया है तो एसिड पिला दिया। मैंने ऐसे ऐसे केसेस भी देखे हैं। So they were making fun, and I went there and I was trying to stop them. So I just
Predictable.
told them that take me on screen and I want to ask few questions.
Right.
But he was not able. I straightway asked him that what you were talking about dowry. And the statement that you were giving कि अरे डाउरी तो सिर्फ गिफ्ट लेना देना होता है, इंडिया में उसको गिफ्ट लेना देना बोलते हैं
Really,
और भारत
that's
में
his
उसको
level of
डाउरी बोलते हैं।
knowledge. The joke is on him. If that's his
Yes.
level of knowledge, the
Yes.
joke is on him. I know exactly what you're saying because I've been there, and oh my God, I'm just so glad
And
that you're here.
what was your response?
You're safe. Yeah.
Priyanka, what was your response?
What a joke.
No, and ma'am, then they did not allow me to speak, ma'am, because I was ready to argue because I have data, I have figures. But the person, as usual, Mr. Tiwari, has an habit of shouting and not allowing people to do a discussion, because
Okay.
he always want a one side conversation, and he always want to win that conversation. So they sent me to backstage. And at backstage I just wrote in a chat that I want to ask a few questions, allow me on screen.
Yes.
So there he abused me at backstage.
Okay.
And the slangs that he used were, I mean, I even can't say those words.
Priyanka,
And
did you
then
take any proof? Did you take any proof? Because you can
Yes.
file a report, with the
Oh yes, I
cyber
have.
cell.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
because
have
that's what I
given
did.
all the proofs to
Good on
police
you.
station. All.
Good on
Yes.
you.
So then few other people also got. And ma'am, like at the same time, I decided that I will put all these chats on Twitter. Then the host told sorry to me. Otherwise, they were not ready to accept. And the person was there on the screen and on the show for 30 to 35 minutes after this incident.
Okay.
He was there. So then I wrote in the chat that this is the level of this show, and you are conducting it on the name of Sushant.
Okay.
Where you are making fun of dowry, rapes and all. And so then he was removed from the so मैम अगर आज के टाइम में औरतों को इंसाफ मिल रहा है ना तो वो सोशल मीडिया के वजह से मिल रहा है.
Absolutely.
Spot on.
Yeah, KB, you would like to say something?
It's because of social media that women.
I would say it's deplorable what they were. I mean, the way they have treated her. That's not the way to treat a person who comes live on your chat or wherever she was insulted on. That's not the way. And moreover, dowry, the definition they are giving of dowry is something. I think they need to go and relook their books. They need to relearn themselves. This is one. And what she was talking about, the child sexual abuse, I fully agree with her. It's a scar, that's a permanent scar on the mind and psyche of the child. It will never go. It will live lifelong, and it will continue to torture that child even in his old age, her old age. So this is one thing which must be looked into. And moreover, another thing what I find is usually the offender in such cases is either an influential person or he is a financially strong person.
Or
which
a relative.
Is why, yes, a relative, most probably a relative or a neighbor or someone in the complex or something like that. Someone who's known and who, with his, because of his position, the position he holds either in the society or in whatever way, he sort of has a command, which is why people tend to believe the offender rather than the child.
Yes.
I have known of instances where the child has been abused and the child is telling his parent, and the parent is saying, chup karo, unka kya naam. If that person is such a famous person.
KB, sometimes they even bring the child in front of the abuser and say, it's okay na, tumhara chacha hai, tumhara mama hai.
Correct.
What
I have
are you
seen
doing?
that kind
You are
of thing.
re-victimizing the child,
That means you are not believing the
Mommy, I
child.
don't want to go. Yeah.
Yes. When the child has told you that this man has offended her, why should you bring the child again in front of that same person?
Absolutely.
And that means you are telling the child that I don't believe you. So next time when it actually happens further, the child will not report back to you. Because the child will say, my parent doesn't believe
their
me.
self-esteem, What a blow to their self-esteem.
Arinya is also joining us.
We should, that the parents should be sensitized to this.
Parents should stand like a rock,
Yes, Namaskar. Namaskar, Meena ma'am, and all the others over here, and to the wonderful viewers too, Namaskar. Now, this incident about Priyanka, she knows me well. I had actually seen what happened when another lady had actually taken the screenshots of what she tweeted, and she supported her full-heartedly. There are lovely ladies working on all these YouTube, and very boldly, bravely, she questioned everybody. And that's when I saw that program. And the next thing, when I met Priyanka on another channel, and she was voicing out this particular incident, I said, I completely agree with what's happened and I support her. This is disgusting and we need to look into it. Unfortunately, that channel did not give any scope further, like how you're giving, ma'am, now. And immediately after this particular incident, the next day was June 14th on the Sushant's anniversary. So that channel was covering a temple and prayers for all these victims of SSR's case. So I went and just spoke about chakras and all, whatever little I knew about, little bit of spiritual things and all, and I got off the platform. So immediately there was a lot of rush, lot of people were coming into the stream, and the hostess, she could not control it. So the same guy, he took my name and he stood behind against my name and came live in a nude way. So there was a lot of panic and all that happened. Now this guy is the one who tweeted such obscene things about Priyanka. I mean, I can't say that, neither can she say. He was such, and this guy sits in US, okay? And he's absolutely a narcissist. He did this, and that's when after this incident, and for whatever reasons, that particular show, all the three hostesses, they had a fall. They fell out of each other's channel, and then they had the audacity to use me. I'm a warrior who goes on all the platforms fighting for Sushant's justice and all these ladies. Now they use that video to get after the hostess, saying that the hostess is wanting TRPs, so she makes the viewer come and she shows a nude man with his private parts open, and all this they made a video, and the video was aired, okay, the YouTube. And who is that particular video channel person? None other than Bharat Defense guy, who is totally anti-SSR, and he's been attacking all the SSR warriors in their own way. He also did this to Dr. Padma, who was so bold, and nailed him because they had actually tagged her many times so that she doesn't give her research inputs, which are very accurate. So now when this guy came on that particular channel, I came to know through my sis. She said, what's happening with that video and your name? She called me from US and said, what's happening? And that's when I attended, and Priyanka was not there, but I tried to explain. And meanwhile, somebody told that guy, his name is Jaspreet. So he immediately came, and I was so disappointed that I am the victim, and I wanted to question him and bash him. And the hostess did not give me enough time. But she allowed him to speak, and then she said, now calm down. And I said, I have a Supreme Court barrister in my family. I'll take you to task. How could you not take the hostess permission? It is her video. Now don't tell me I didn't know, because he started panicking and he was so jittery when I said all that. I said, I will take a task, and I'm going to make an FIR against you and whoever has accompanied you, because the video showed all the three loudly screaming my name. And they even went on to make one more saying, who knows, her husband must be the one behind her. And all this flashing thing is happening because the hostess wants TRP. Actually, poor thing, that lady, she edited it with the same two women who also accompanied her, and cut all the shots of everybody coming on the platform, and they covered the temple. Now all this is happening, Meena ma'am. Just tell me, there's a lot of infights and ego hassles going on. And the way, see, Priyanka is strong. I took I was really disturbed, and my husband said, what's going on? So I took a little I don't even come in person, but I come with a name, and even the name was misused to totally derail this movement and attack everybody. And look at the way the poor girl Priyanka is being attacked. It's so disgusting.
Here, Aranya, let me just make a note here to you, to KB, Monica, and Jaydev. See, it is entirely up to you to go to whichever channel you choose. Okay, but the moment you realize that they are humiliating you, it is better to get out of it. Do not indulge with these people, because you don't know what sort of characters they are. And we cannot stand against people who have got degraded, principles. Always, Arinya, better to be, in channels where people respect you, So the moment you or Priyanka or anybody sees this sort of thing, I'm not talking about any channel. I'm just telling about, if you even sense that you are in a channel where you are being degraded, get out of it. Because, see,
of course, we are out of it, ma'am. It was the first experience. And I went to support her. I went to support her because she was alone. And then the next thing, the other lady who supported from another channel, even she was given the same thing. I took the screenshots when that fellow came and used the same obscene language. It is atrocious. Vulgar is not the word, ma'am. Such horrible things.
You mean to say you have reported it to YouTube?
She has reported. She has, in fact, filed an FIR. The other lady, not Priyanka, she took all their names and she has gone up to PMO and Delhi police and all the other police stations. They made a proper FIR.
Yeah, that's
so
the only
today
thing you
I'm
can
back, and that's the reason this all happened when you were doing the PMO thing. I could not come because I was very disturbed, and
don't get
I
worried.
could not
Don't
convey.
get worried,
But
Aranya.
no, I'm not worried, ma'am. If you do it once in a month, the the pleading or the request to PM, the next time I'm definitely there. I'll definitely come and give my words also to PM. So I just wanted to tell you that I could not make it that day because all these things were happening, attack after attack. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, go ahead.
Aranya, I think I've seen you getting trolled on that chat channel as well, and I'm gonna take this opportunity to just apologize because even though I saw it, I didn't really do anything about it until it happened to me. I didn't feel the pain. I'm so sorry about that. So
hey,
if you
Monica, that's so
hear
sweet
me,
of you. It's okay.
I mean, I saw it, but I was confused, and one side I was getting fed a different story, and then I'm like, when it happened to me, I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what it feels like.
KB?
Yes. Yeah, I would like to just tell
Aranya. Is a big thing.
I would like to just address Aranya on this. That Aranya, what has happened with you is really, I mean, it's shameless what these people have done. It just shows their standard. So don't let it upset you. This is one thing, because you will understand one thing. The purpose it is done is to upset you and to stress you. So don't let them succeed. Don't let them succeed. This is the first thing.
No, ma'am. See, today I'm back over here. Thank you so much.
Yes. I appreciate it.
Actually, Meena ma'am, what happened was when Priyanka took one whole episode on this in her channel called Dhruva, I happened to see it was a late night, and I was so shattered, and I reached out to her because she was literally crying and narrating everything. I know how much she worked for that channel. So I just just wanted to comfort her and said, Priyanka, if you don't mind, please come over and stay with me. I'll look after you, because she has gone through hell. And with this incident, she was totally wanting to go ahead and fight, and she knows the system. In spite of that, she was like, then I comforted her and said, Priyanka, that's not the need right now. You need to recoup. Just try some meditation. If not, go to a temple. You will get back all your positive energy. When I said all this to her, that's when the great host, the CEO of that channel, came in, and he said, Aranya, will you take an oath? He was so jittery. And I said, why will I take an oath? I'm here to comfort her. Don't draw me in all well for him. And the next thing again, they all conspired and they made this Bharat defense guy. The whole racket is going only with anti-SSRians. I'm sorry, but that is, the whole thing. That's why justice is delayed in SSRs. Ma'am, I can talk to you another time about what is happening, why they're not covering that one particular aspect. I'll talk to you. I don't want to hijack this show now. Thank you all for this.
Yeah. And good night.
Thank you.
Yes. KB?
I just wanted to give her that tip, and even to anybody else who is watching, all the viewers here, is that when you go to a channel, any YouTube channel or wherever, and if you see that the people are trying to attack you or trying to demean you, you can, in a few sentences, you can make out. Then my thing to you is, just like if you attend a party, and if you find that the guests there are belittling you, you make a quiet exit, you make a diplomatic exit, rather, I will say. Yeah. So
that's the problem with me, KB. I never make a quiet exit.
No, my suggestion is, if you see you have supporters, then you stand and tell your point. But when you see that they are ganging up against you, if they are 5 versus 1, then it's better to make either a sarcastic reply or a witty reply and then exit. That's it's a friendly tip. You can take it or leave it. But
That
that's
advice
how
has
I
worked
tackle
for me
things.
now. Now
Yeah,
it's
and
worked
for the
me.
host
Now I'm like,
and the
okay, I'm
CEO
following
CEO
KKB's
of
style.
that channel. No, the CEO of that channel who came back and then tried to make up. My advice to them is respect needs to be earned. It cannot be commanded.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you
Spot
earn
on.
it by behaving well with your viewers. Every viewer is valuable and equal, should be treated equally. If a
Even
viewer is
KB,
being belittled,
yeah,
he should stand up for that person.
yeah. KB, even
Yes.
a child has to be respected. You know,
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
just
We all
how you're
deserve
brought
that,
up.
you know.
Yes, when you run a
Yeah.
channel and you ask people to come and place their views, it may not match with your views.
Yeah,
You can differ.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
And the
But you
funniest
cannot
part was
belittle.
Varun invited me on his channel. I didn't
Yeah.
come on my own, right? So why did you do that? I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, it goes over my head, but okay, if it makes him happy.
Yeah, Priyanka, would
Yeah.
you like to say something? Priyanka? Okay. I think that with that we should close down. Thank you so much, KB, Monica, Priyanka, from Jaydev and me for a beautiful session. As always, your words are all wise, you know, and whatever you talk to our viewers is always, you know, of much value. Yeah? So,
Thank you so
good night.
much.
Good night.
Thank you and good night to all the viewers and good night to both of you.
Good night.
Bye bye.
So see you tomorrow. Yeah.
See you tomorrow.